Good morning, students. Students, today we are going to start the chapter that is about electric charges at rest. Static charges. We will have to study, we will have to discuss in this chapter about the static charges. Students, you know the importance of electricity in our day to day life. If we look around us, we find that electricity plays a very vital role in our life. The electric bulbs, tube lights, and LEDs that light up our homes and streets at night, the fans that cool us during hot summer days, the refrigerator that cools our food items and keeps them fresh, radio and television that educate and entertain us, and the metro trains that help people commute from one place to another. All these and so many other devices and appliances need electricity for their working. One of the major revolutions of the previous century, the computer also needs the electricity power supply, the electric motors and pumps that help the farmers to water their fields again work on electricity, and so do all the factories that are producing clothes, food items, confectionery, stationery, utensils, glass, water, and so on. For all of us, all these use the electricity. If we look into the history of the discovery and development of electricity, we find that it was in the 16th century that an interesting phenomenon was discovered. It was found that when amber was rubbed against a piece of flannel, it acquired the property of attracting light objects like dry grass leaves, feathers, tiny piece of paper, or small pith balls. This property was not shown by amber when it was not rubbed against flannel. The rubbed piece of amber was referred to as having got electrified or having acquired an electric charge. The Greek name for amber is electron, and it was this name that was used for coining the term electric. That means the term electric comes from the Greek name of amber, that is electron. Following the discovery of this property of amber, a lot of experiments were done to find whether other substances also show this property. A very significant part of such work was done by an English physician and physicist, William Gilbert. He discovered that this property was also shown by substances like diamond, sapphire, opal, and rock salt. There were, however, some other substances which did not show this property. An object is said to be electrically charged or simply charged if it has acquired the property of attracting light objects. Most of the substances usually do not have this property, that is, they are uncharged. Let us now do some simple activities to see how objects can be charged and what are their special properties when they are charged up. For this activity, we have to take a dry plastic comb and we will rub it vigorously through dry hair. Now we will bring this comb near tiny bits of paper. We will find that the paper bits get attracted towards the dry comb. This shows that a dry plastic comb gets electrically charged when rubbed. Now one more experiment. We will take a dry metal comb and bring it near tiny bits of paper after vigorous rubbing it through dry hair. What will happen? We will find that they do not fly off towards the comb. This shows that a dry metal comb does not get charged up even after vigorous rubbing. On the basis of these two experiments, we will find that plastic comb, plastic straw, ebonite rod, glass rod, which are non-metallic, they get charged up on rubbing, but metal comb and metal pen, these things do not get charged up on rubbing. On the basis of this, we find some results, that is, we find that metallic objects do not get charged up on rubbing and non-metallic objects get charged up on rubbing. We can therefore think of two different types of material in nature, one that gets charged up on rubbing and another that do not get charged up on rubbing. Metallic materials that normally do not get charged up on rubbing because they allow an electric charge to flow through them with ease, and they are known as conductors. Non-metallic materials that normally get charged up on rubbing, they do not allow an electric charge to flow through them easily, and they are known as insulators. Both conductors and insulators find a wide variety of practical application in our daily life. So, students, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.